Welcome to Cavaletto Studios. I'm Chris. Today we will be having fun with a variety of animal yoga postures like lion, locust, camel, pigeon, and of course downward facing dog. Let's explore your favorites while moving the body. Make sure you comment below with your favorite posture from today. Let's get started. Let's begin by placing the bottoms of our feet together, holding on to our ankles or close to the feet or the shins. Lengthen through the spine, draw the chin into alignment. And just take a couple breaths here. We're in our butterfly posture, so let's start to flap our wings, move those knees gently up and down, noticing if anything's going on in the hips or the back. And then gently feel gravity assisting the knees towards the floor. And then using the hands on the ankles, let's start to gently draw circles in our butterfly. Just to loosen things up, check in with the hips and the back, the inner thighs. It's going to feel different each time you go around. Just loosening things up. Our butterfly is starting to fly. And one more circle, and we're going to take that butterfly the opposite direction, circle it the other way, all the way around. And noticing the difference when we circle from one side to the other, all the way around. One more big circle. Good. And then when we get back to the middle where we started, we're going to lift nice and tall, pull the shoulders down and back, and then gently again use the arms by bending them into the ribs to lean forward. Now option, you can always press your elbows outward towards your knees. You can even rock a little and move your hips closer to your heels. And let's just melt a little deeper into our butterfly. Lengthen through the neck. We're not collapsing through that rib cage. We're still lengthening. And then start to draw your nose and your chin downwards towards your feet. And then again, maybe just a couple little shifts side to side, just very gentle movements. Again, still waking up the body. Maybe you can hold on to the toes and go all the way down. Maybe that's not in your practice today. That's okay. I'm going to stay up here with you. Or maybe you walk your hands forward or out. Again, it's up to you where you go with this. The idea is to explore what feels comfortable to you. And then we're slowly going to come up out of that butterfly, leaning forward, walking our hips backwards now. So now I want you to widen the space between your feet and your body. So bring it out more to about like a diamond shape. And then we're going to walk our palms upward, but underneath the calf shin area. And then slide them underneath and bring the bottoms of your, the palms to the tops of your feet. For turtle. And again, just shifting your body side to side, loosening up the hips and starting to melt forward again. Now maybe trying to just lean into it is plenty. Maybe try to get your forehead between your feet. Again, if it's in your practice, everybody's at a different place. So maybe you're a tortoise and you're just a little more, we're rounding through the back a little more. Maybe you're squishing down like a little turtle, hiding in your shell. And just notice what's going on in the hips and the back. Relax those shoulders, pull them away from the ears. And then slowly we're going to walk ourselves all the way back up. And let's give our knees a hug, pulling the chest up and open. So our hips are already starting to wake up. So we're going to move upward into our back. So I want you to slowly rotate to your hands and knees. Let's find our tabletop. Spread out your fingers, tops of the feet on the floor. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. Now let's start with our scared cat, pushing into the tops of the feet, rounding through the back. Chin tucks to into the chest. Nice exhale. And then cow. Open up that chest, lift your head and your tailbone. Curving that back, and then exhale, round back to the cat. And then inhale for your cow, lifting the head and the tailbone, arching the back. Exhale, cat. And one more time, inhale for your cow. And this time we're going to level it out. Find your tabletop, pull the belly in, shoulders relaxed, extended tabletop or bird dog. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Point that left toe, level out that left hip. And here we're just going to breathe. Pointing those front fingertips, thumb is up. Working that bird dog. Adjust your hips. So maybe you're leaning forward too much. Bring your right hip over that right knee. One more breath. And that nice strong bird dog. Lift that left leg a little higher and then lower it all the way back down. Excellent. Let's try the other side. Left arm out. Right leg. Keeping those hips level. Pointing those toes. Reaching the fingertips to the front. Continue breathing for our bird dog. How many animals can we find today in our postures? Which one is your favorite animal? Go ahead and bring those knees and hands to the floor. Tuck those toes. Let's find our downward facing dog. Shift those hips up. Let's walk our dog. So lots of things we can do in our animal postures. And each one has such great benefits for different parts of the body. Spreading out the fingers. Good. Now rest in your downward facing dog, pressing those heels into the floor. You can do this. And then we're going to shift our body forward, finding a nice strong plank. Spread out those fingers. Make sure they're below, right below those shoulders. Good. Now you're going to shift yourself back up to a downward facing dog. Good. Now press your right heel into the mat, and I want you to lift your left leg up to a three-legged dog. And then slowly lower it back down, placing that left foot on the floor to reach the right leg up for a three-legged dog on the other side. And then lowering it back, shifting to our plank. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Now we're going to elbows in, chaturanga, also known as crocodile. Elbows in slowly, slowly, slowly. Lowering down, bring the belly to the floor. Now gently press up to a baby cobra. Looking out ahead of you, relax your glutes. No pinching in that low back. And then slowly lower. Good. Tuck your toes. Push yourself all the way back up to your downward facing dog. All the way back up. Good. And just breathe here. Place your right foot on the floor. Lift that left leg. Bend the knee. Let's maybe open up those hips a little more. And then we're going to bring that foot down. One, shift sides. Extend the right leg up. Stacking those hips. Pulling that right leg over to the left side. And then coming back down. Shifting to your plank. Now we're going to try that crocodile again. Lowering down as close as you can get to the floor and then shifting to an upward facing dog. Pull those shoulders down away from the ears and breathe. Building up to stronger postures. Building that strength. Excellent. Now I want you to slide into a child's pose. Then separate your knees, feet together, slide it all the way back. Reach those arms forward. Excellent. So go ahead and come back to your tabletop, and we're going to extend the right arm forward, left arm back. Find that bird dog. Excellent. Reaching those arms out, maybe looking at the thumb on the floor, pull the shoulders away from the ears. And then slowly release back down, extend the opposite arm, left arm, right leg, point those toes, find your strength. Maybe it's easier the second time. It's always good to practice this one without moving those hips. Hands and knees back to the floor, cat-cow. So let's start with our scared cat. Push into the feet, round through the back. Nice exhale. And then inhale, pull the shoulders away from the ears, lift the head and the tailbone. Excellent. One more time, round through the back. And then inhale, lift and open. Now I want you to walk your hands forward. Now we're going to find our plank. So I want you to tuck your toes and find your nice solid plank. Now I'm going to give you a few challenges here. So one option is to lower to your elbows, and we're going to stay here in an elbow plank. Now this also is known as dolphin, a variation of dolphin, and we're going to go and work our way to another one by walking our feet towards our head and keeping the head off the floor, and just hold it there. And just feel your shoulders strengthening, lengthening. Maybe you embrace some shakiness. Maybe you walk your feet further. Maybe you walk them further back. Play around with it. And then walk those feet all the way back out. Good. Lower the knees. Shift yourself back, keeping your feet and knees together. And then reach back for your heels. And then roll up onto your head just slightly, not putting pressure on the back, but just rounding here. Lifting those hips, feeling that stretch through the shoulder. And then lowering all the way back down, coming up, placing the hands on the floor. Let's find our downward facing dog. And then pedal out those feet, relax those shoulders, and just breathe. Melting that right foot in, lift the left leg up. Three-legged dog, bend the knee and open it up. Kick your foot between your hands and lower your right foot all the way down, walking yourself up to a low lunge. And just breathe here. Good. Now we're going to bring the hands on the inside of that left foot. Walk it open. Let the foot fall open on your left side. Press on the inner thigh of that left leg. Open it up for lizard. And relax your shoulders. Feeling that nice hip stretch. Feels so good. And then we're going to release. Walk that foot back in. Let's straighten out the front leg. Good. And do a couple of shifts here. Pull that knee towards and nose to the knee. Stretching the back of that leg. Toe is pulled up and then point it. And then pull the toe up on that left foot and then point. And then walk the hands forward. Good. Tuck those toes. Let's find our strong plank again. Nice and tall. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Crocodile or chaturanga. Lowering down. Good. To the belly. Let's find our upward facing dog again. Opening up that chest. This is so good for the chest, the shoulders, the neck, the back, the glutes. Find your downward facing dog. And just relax. Good. Now you're going to keep your left foot planted in. You're going to lift your right leg all the way up. And then you're going to bring that foot between the hands, lower the left knee. Walk yourself up. Let's find that length. Open up that chest. Feel that left hip stretching out. Such great things for the body. Go ahead and bring both hands on the inside of the right knee. Walk that foot out. Drop the knee open. So you're on the outside edge of that right foot. Place your right hand on the inner thigh and turn and press the knee away. Lizard on the other side. We got two sides, so we got to do both. Just feel that nice stretch. To take pressure off of your left knee, just push more into the top of your left foot as it's on the floor. And then release. Good. Walk that foot back to the middle. Let's straighten out the front leg and then hinge. Push your head towards the knee. Excellent. And then we're going to walk it forward. Let's step back to plank. Nice and strong. Good. This time we're going to come down. Crocodile again. This time I want you to lay your belly. Keep your hands right on the outside of your chest. Lift to a cobra. Just a small one. Pressing into the hands, just lifting. Maybe you want to go a little further and you can bring your hands forward. Again, so many variations of this posture. Go with what feels good to you, keeping those shoulders down and relaxed. Excellent. And then we're going to lower all the way back down. Let's find our downward facing dog. Lifting those hips all the way up. Excellent. Relax those shoulders. We're going to move into a dolphin one more time, and you can stay in a plank on the elbows, or you can stay from your down dog and just drop into the elbows, and then walk those feet forward again, and see if you can get a little higher this time with those hips. You can have your hands flat, or you can even interlace your fingers. And then slowly lower your knees to the floor. Let's round into a ball. But this time I want you to crisscross your arms in front of your knees, and then try to bring your head as close to your arms as you can. Just hug them in. I want you to lengthen through the neck and pull the shoulders away from the ears. Gently press both your forearms down into your knees as you lengthen through your neck. Feeling the crown of your head now pushing to the front of your mat. It's a nice release for the shoulders. So that the dolphin is actually very good for a shoulder stabilizer. And here we're just stretching them a bit. Excellent. Good job. Bringing those hands forward. And I want you to come all the way back. Find your plank. Find your plank, nice and strong. And I want you to slowly chaturanga all the way to the belly. And this time we're going to stay on the belly and let your feet relax. Untuck the toes. You're looking at the mat, lengthen the spine. Reach your fingertips back so the palms are up, and you're reaching your fingers towards your toes. We're going to go to locust. So I want you to first start to open up and lift the upper body, then lift the legs. So your lower back, your glutes are working here. You're breathing. Really extend. Feel the shoulder blades squeezing together, opening up, lifting a little higher. Go as high as you feel comfortable. Breathe in. And then on your exhale, lower down, turn your right ear to the floor. And just rest for a moment. We're building up. We got some fun postures still. We're going to do locust again. So feel the belly pull in. Lift enough in the upper body to lift your head to neutral. Then lift the upper body more. Arms extending off the floor, palms up. Reaching, reaching. Open, open. A little higher. You're still breathing. And then lower all the way down, left ear goes on the floor. Good, let your legs rest. And we're going to bring the palms in next to the body. Slowly start to press yourself up and slide back to child's pose. Separate your knees, feet together, and just shift side to side. Massage out the low back. And breathe. Maybe let your head rest on the floor and rock it side to side. Good. So let's move on. We're going to come all the way up onto all fours. I want you to draw your knees so they're completely together, touching. And then you're going to shift back and sit all the way down on your heels. All the way back down. I'm going to turn towards you so you can see. So we're going to work our way to lion now. It's a very basic posture, but I want to really get into, finding these fun areas and postures to work our mind around. Press your palms into your thighs. Open up and lengthen. Draw your chin in alignment. We're going to do our lion's breath. So deep breath in, and the tongue hangs out. Let's do that again. Inhale. What kind of face can you make? Come on, make a goofy face. If I can do it on camera, you can do it now. Inhale again. One more lion's breath, straighten and open. Feel that belly tightening. Excellent. Now we're going to lift up higher. Come all the way up onto the knees. We're going to tuck the toes under. If you have a block and you want to block, you can place it between your knees or between your feet here. You're going to place your hands, I'm going to go sideways so you can see, on your low back. So we're going to work our way to camel. So you're opening up your chest, you're starting to lean just a little bit back. So camel's all about opening up the hips here, not overarching the back. So you're looking diagonally in front of you and just lean back to where you feel comfortable. So you're starting to feel those hips stretching out. Now if you want more, you can reach for a block. You can also reach for your heels and then open up that chest. And again, not overarching, you're not letting the head hang back too far, but just really feeling it's a great stretch for the chest and the thighs, the hips. Almost there, one more breath. And then we're slowly going to release, coming out of it, and let's take a child's pose. Separate the knees. We want to rest all the way down. Feel that nice stretch in the back. Excellent. Now we're going to slowly work our way back up, coming to our downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Stretch it out. Maybe pedal out the feet if you need to. Soften the knees. Wiggle, wiggle. Now let's melt into that right heel. Lift that left leg. Open it up to a three-legged dog. Bend the knee. Stack those hips. Now that right knee is going to come all the way forward, coming to the right hand for pigeon. So we're coming to a single leg pigeon, sliding into your right hip. Now again, you can sit on a block or blanket. Make adjustments. Shift those hips side to side, pushing into the top of your back left foot so the knee isn't not pressured onto the mat, and then walk yourself forward. And just breathe here. Feel that nice stretch. Again, hips, hamstrings, glutes. You're doing great. Have we hit one of your favorite animal postures yet? There's more to come. We got more ahead of us. Pigeon is my favorite. So we can just hang out here. Let's just hang out for the rest of the time. No, just kidding. We still have the other leg to go, and we have more animal postures to hit. So we're going to walk those arms up, open up the chest, and just breathe. If you want to get fancy and make it more like a swan, you can bend your back knee and grab hold. Maybe go to your fingertips and really open up that chest, because now you just feel, beautiful like a swan, right? You can even pull that foot closer to your hip. Again, to glute, it's up to you where you go with that. And then we're going to release that back leg. Excellent. Let's place the hands on the floor. Let's find our downward facing dog. Step it back, take your time. Pedal out those feet. Melt that right foot into the mat. Take that left leg up, three-legged dog, and stack those hips. Really stretch it out. Feel that nice opening. Now we're going to take that left knee and you're going to pull it forward towards your hands and then slide backwards into your left hip. Now again, you can be on the hip. You can push yourself onto a block. I'm sliding off my mat. So we're going to make some adjustments. So just make those adjustments that you need to. I'm squeaking on my mat too. And then slowly, once you find your comfortable position in that posture, start to melt your body forward. And just start to breathe. Again, if you have pressure on that right knee, push into the top of that right foot. And then inhale and exhale. Fabulous stretch for the hips, the hamstrings, the glutes. It's just one of those fabulous postures. You can do this like leaning on your bed, like one leg up, anywhere. Just practice that pigeon. And then slowly we're going to come up. We're going to open up the chest. Lengthen, lengthen. Now, I want to try your swan. So you just would bend that back leg and grab hold. Now, if it throws you way out of alignment, my hip slightly comes off the floor when I go there. So again, it's up to you where you want to go. Holding that foot, you can pull it tighter into the glute. You got this. Feel that nice stretch. And then we're going to release that leg. Let's find our downward facing dog. Stretching it out. And just relax. Excellent. Good. Now we're going to walk our feet forward to the front of your mat and just hang out in a forward fold. Maybe hold the elbows and swing side to side. And then take a half lift, or what they say is called monkey, lengthening. And just breathe here. Pull the ears away from the shoulders, shoulders away from the ears. And then exhale, fold. Excellent. Let's lift to chair. So you're going to Uttanasana, slide the arms up, sit back. I'm going to turn forward so you can see where we're at. So sitting down, toes together. Good, let's just get settled in here for a moment. Bring your palms to heart space. All right, so now what you're going to do is have all your weight on your right foot, and I want you to cross it over and have your toe down. Or you can even wrap your foot all the way around the back. So it depends on how flexible you are at your hips, and then take your right elbow under your left and find your eagle arms. For eagle, and find your balance. Beautiful. Keep balancing and breathing. I'm losing my eagle. I'm crashing my eagle. And then release, unwind, and then unwind the feet, bring the hands to heart space, forward fold. And just hang out here for a moment. Let the head hang heavy. Shake it out. Yes, no. Make sure the toes are touching, and then inhale again to your chair pose. Lifting up, palms to heart space. Good, all your weight goes on the left leg now, so we're shifting sides. So bring that right leg over the top and wrap it around. So I'm definitely tighter on this side. My right leg doesn't go as far. Arms come out to the side, left elbow under right for eagle arms. And just find that balance. If you need the toe on the floor, that's a great variation to maintain that balance so you don't topple over or crash in your eagle. Lifting those arms, bringing that thumb to the forehead. Excellent. And then we're slowly going to unwind and bring the palms to heart space, feet together, forward fold. That's a challenging one. It can be for balance. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Good job. Step back to your plank. Relax those shoulders. Good. Let's take a deep breath in and exhale, chaturanga. Good. Let's find our upward facing dog. Open things up. And then we're going to take a child's pose. So separate your knees. Let's rest here for a moment. We have a nice challenging animal posture coming up next. So melt into it, and let's just take 3 deep breaths here quietly. Excellent. Now, you ready for your challenging posture? We're going to slowly come up, and we're going to crow. So we're going to lift up and bring our feet onto the balls of the feet, about hip distance wide, and your hips are down, and your palms are wide. So let's find your crow. Feel free to use a block under the feet. You're going to lift your hips and slide your knees into your triceps. And just start by doing 1 foot at a time, and then finding your crow. And then when you want, you can even shoot the legs out to fly away. And then, if you're not there, go ahead and bring those legs down to plank, and then chaturanga to up dog to downward facing dog. Good job. Walk up onto your mat, wherever you are, center yourself, because we're going to try another one. So this one, you're going to bend your knees, and I want you to walk your hips, walk onto your right foot, and drop your right hip to the right side. And I want you to bend your elbows, and you're going to just scoot. Start to scoot your body. I'm going the easy way into it. Drawing your right thigh into your left tricep. But then tuck under your right tricep and elbow into your hip. And then you're going to lean into it and lift to a side crow. And just breathe. And even if it's just for a second, that's okay. And then just flip your arms around. And again, this is just playtime. Say you're just like, okay, I can go like sideways like this. That's fine. I'm not even sure if this will happen on this side. This is my really tight side. So I'm going to bend into it. Both arms are supporting me. And I'm going to lift just for a moment. Not for a long time. So just keep playing around with that one. just to have some fun. All right, let's find our plank again. Open things up nice and strong. Because, you know, if you can't play and practice in yoga, what's the fun of it, right? Shift into a crocodile or chaturanga. Inhale for your up dog. Cobra, exhale to downward facing dog. And just breathe here. Let's add our lion's breath again here. Take a deep breath in. Tongue hangs out. Excellent. Good. So go ahead and lower onto the knees. Untuck those toes. Come up onto the fingertips. And I want you to just pull that right knee into your forehead. And just the tippy toe is on the floor, that right toe, as you shift forward onto the fingertips for tiger. Feel that core working, holding that space. You're strong. And then release. Flatten out the hands. Let's try the other side. So go onto the fingertips. Slide that left toe forward. Tuck under. Tuck it so your knee and your forehead get close together. Breathe. And release. Feeling that core working. Exhale, cat, cow. So open up to cow, lifting and inhaling. Exhale, cat stretch. Adjust your knees and your feet as you need to. And open for cow one more time. Cat and cow. Excellent. So go ahead and shift yourself onto one hip and bring those feet forward. And we're going to bend those knees. And we're just going to start by just floating on a boat and bringing those feet up. Find your boat pose and release those arms. Maybe you're paddling the boat. We're going on a jungle cruise. So let's paddle through the jungle as we look for more animals. Do you have a favorite one? I know we didn't do all of them. There's so many animal postures. I tried to just pick up some basic ones, and then I threw in a couple challenges on those basic ones. Like the eagles, you can just do eagle arms and not the legs. Or you can do both. And let's hold and float. We have to be really quiet here. We're looking for wild animals. And breathe. Good. Let's hug the knees and try to hover. Open up that chest. Excellent. So we're going to slowly roll all the way onto our back. And we're working our way. So our final resting posture when we get there is going to be a fish or a supported fish. But first, let's bring those feet close together, and you're going to lift yourself up to a bridge. Yes, and breathe. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Feel your breath coming in and out. And then slowly lower those hips all the way down. Excellent. So let's do a full body stretch. Reach the arms overhead. Reach, reach, reach. Feels so good. Just stretch it all out. And then coming all the way back down. Go ahead and bend the knees. Take the feet nice and wide as your mat. And then bring your arms to cactus arms out to the side. And then drop both the knees to your right. Just feel that nice twist. Things are resting. Maybe take your head and turn it to the left. So maybe you're all invigorated now. Did we find your favorite animal posture? And then very slowly, shifting sides, drop your knees to the other side, turn your head to the right. This was just supposed to be just a fun, quick yoga. One more breath. And then back to center. And then bring the knees up. Maybe a family, maybe you have kids around, you can do animal postures with them. Let's hug the knees into the chest. Rock side to side. Excellent. Now as we move into fish pose, please use blocks if needed. If you have any neck issues or if you're not even sure, I'm going to show you a couple options here before I go into the full. And one is to put your blocks like a T. This is my favorite way to do fish because I like to protect my back. And that block is going right in the middle of the upper back. All right, so you're gonna lay back on there and make sure your head is completely supported on that block. And adjust the blocks. If you need them higher, feel free to get them higher as long as your head is supported. And then you're gonna bring your arms out to the side. It gives a little more of a stretch. You can also bring them down here if it bothers your shoulders. But this is just a great way to stretch things out and straighten out the legs. Or you can even go to butterfly legs like we did at the beginning. Either is fine, but if you're doing supported fish, you would straighten out those legs and just feel that nice stretch through the chest as you lengthen. And not much pressure on the neck. So I'm going to now show into the full fish. And again, if your neck is okay to do this, then go for it. So you're going to tilt your chin up, rocking onto the back top of your head. And then I'm going to bring my hands underneath, rocking into my back, and draw the elbows under for some support, and then point those toes. So you've got a lot of chest expansion going here, and breathing, pointing those toes. So this is one I personally do not do a lot because I prefer the supported. But whether you're here on the supported, either way is fine, or just roll up a towel and lay it on between your head and your shoulder blades so it supports both. One more breath. And then we untuck the head, bend those knees, release those hands, and then let's hug the knees into the chest and give it a rock side to side. Massage out that low back. And then I want you to release those feet all the way to the floor. And then let's do a full body stretch one more time. And then I want you to bring the arms next to the body. Walk the shoulders away from the ears. Let your legs fall open. And let's close our eyes for a moment. Just want you to just retrace your practice today. The different animal postures. What's something, maybe one was more challenging than you thought it would be. And we went from butterfly to turtle, cat-cow, down dog, up dog, three-legged dog. We did a dolphin, we did the cobra, we did the alligator, crocodile, we did locust, lion, we did camel, we did pigeon, we did eagle, we did crow, and we finished up with fish. I might have missed one in there. I think I got them all. So just relax. Be proud of yourself for what you've done. Keep breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And sometimes it's just easier to remember postures too when you put fun names to them. So if you're ever like, oh, which one should I do? Don't remember, just remember the animal names. That's like the easiest way to do it. Scan your body, check in with what's going on. One more breath. Then start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Waking things up, moving things around. Good. Go ahead and bend those knees. Place those feet flat on the floor. Walk your feet apart and draw the knees slightly together, pushing your back into the mat. And just check in, grounding into the earth. That's why I wore the leopard pants today, just for the animal theme. Have a little fun. And then we're going to draw the knees and the feet together, roll to one side, and then go ahead and push yourself all the way up. Now let's come back to our butterfly that we started with. I know we're just ending, but I just want to go in there one more time. Just start to lean forward and then do a very gentle little circle. And it should feel a little easier, a little less tension. One more circle. And then we're going to change direction. And just notice the calmness in your body now. and then come back to center, and then cross your feet, coming to an easy seat, nice and tall. Go ahead and line up your shoulders, line up your posture. Do you feel like you've been out on a hunt? Just take a breath in. Thanks for playing today. Tried to make it a little more fun. It's always fun doing yoga, but adding some spice to with the animal names and my leopard print pants. Take a deep breath in, reach those arms all the way up. Exhale, palms to heart space. Namaste.